Good evening and welcome. You're watching a special broadcast right here on NDTV. It's that time of the day where exit poll numbers are out. We'll get you an aggregate of what each exit pollster is actually saying. So this, by extension, becomes a fantastic place for you to be, where you get all the exit polls and you can make up your mind which one to believe or which one you don't want to believe. 3 state elections, their results in this year, where 9 assemblies are going to go to polls. 3 have already gone to polls. Their exit polls will be out in just a short moment from now. 7 p.m. was the time that the Election Commission said that exit polls will be out. On the 2nd of March, the result for these 3 assemblies is going to be out. Who's going to win? Will the BJP be lucky in the northeast and then their northeast man Hemanta Biswa Sarma will grow in stature within the party? Or will regional factors in Tripura, in Nagaland, in Meghalaya weigh heavy? And if that happens, then that tells you a different story. Don't think that these are small states and thus insignificant. They're very, very important. So as we told you, the data is going to come in just a short moment. We'll put that on the screen for all our viewers to see. Let me quickly introduce our guests. Right now in the studio, we have Manas Deka, spokesperson and state secretary of Assam BJP. Thank you very much, Mr. Deka, for joining us. We also have Nilanjan Sarkar, senior visiting fellow, CPR and assistant professor at Ashoka University. Nilanjan, thank you so much for joining us. Smita Gupta is a senior journalist with us. And our very own Monideepa Banerjee is also with us. Thank you very much, Monidi, for joining us. Amit Barua, senior journalist, is also with us. And Professor Sanjoy Kumar, psephologist and professor at CSDS. Thank you. Let's first begin by understanding the importance and relevance of these northeastern states. There is often this grudge, Monideepa, that northeastern states carry, that they are not a subject of prime focus as far as national discourse is concerned. People may find us or accuse us guilty of the same. But Monideepa, one thing that must be said up front is that northeastern states have something to teach the rest of this country. And that is how seriously the people take the process of voting. Record polling percentage even in this election.
That's right. I have lost your audio.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, right. Your audio just went off in between. Thank you, Sanket, and thank you for the warm welcome on NDTV. Very pleased to be here today. And yes, indeed, Northeast, the states somehow have always felt that the mainland India, as it were, has not given them enough attention. And yet, every time they vote, it is so incredible to see that, where in cities and villages across the rest of the country, you have polling percentages that can be as low as 40 or 50%. Here you have 80, 90 every time. Hugely encouraging. And what everybody is talking about this time round, Sanket, and it's really special, is India going to do what the Northeast does today? Is India going to do tomorrow what the Northeast does today? So exciting elections. I'm sure the exit poll figures will be exciting, and who knows who will be telling us what happens next in 2024.
Right. Amit Barua, what are the key things that one needs to watch out for in these 3 states? What, according to you, will be that top of the mind focus in this election in the Northeast? Local factors, the continued dominance of the BJP, regional leadership, the regional leader uprising, what?
Well, I think one of the things that comes to mind is that the fact that the BJP itself is becoming a player in these states. I think that is quite important and critical. The fact that they are contesting all the seats in Meghalaya shows their confidence level. That is something which is evident. Also, I think, just as we are looking at the pre-poll and the exit poll scenario, we all know, Sanket, post-poll is most important in this country.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How things play themselves out, more than the results itself. A friend of mine was telling me that if the BJP manages 20 seats in Tripura, they will be able to form the government. So, I think the post-poll arrangements are also something which we'll have to look at.
Let me then, at that point, let me share with you, Mr. Amit Barua, the first exit poll result which has come out. And I should not call it result, I should say exit poll. So the first exit poll is from Tripura, and the result of this exit poll is, of 60 seats, the BJP is likely to get, according to this poll, lots of health warnings, 36 to 45 seats. Congress nil, the left 6 to 11. Remember, the Congress and the left were in an alliance. And the Tripura Motha is likely to get somewhere between 9 and 16. So Tripura Motha, according to this exit poll, Mr. Nilanjan, seems to have damaged the left and the Congress more, their existence, than the BJP. I mean, 36 to 45 is a full majority.
And I think you're looking at a question that you see in a lot of states, most recently in Gujarat, right? Which is that you have an incumbent party, the BJP, and you have an opposition space. Two parties that used to be enemies have joined hands, just as they have in Bengal, Congress and the left. But if there's another player there that is also splitting opposition votes, I mean, the big question here is down to the seat level. Is there opposition splitting? We expect Tripura to do better in
No, but then when Tripura Motha was in existence, in the running, and we were discussing this, what was the likelihood of them damaging the BJP versus them damaging the opposition players? I mean, if we do this analysis, then what do you think?
I mean, look, I don't have a very clear answer to that. I mean, that's actually going to be something up
like
to the
the traditional tribal vote. Where does that go? Let me maybe I can ask this of Mr. Barua. Mr. Barua, would you like to weigh in? In Tripura, traditionally the tribal vote goes where?
I think that Tripura Motha's performance has been truly impressive. Their performance in the district council, where they defeated the CPM comprehensively, is an indicator of their strength. They're not just talking in the air. I mean, they've proven themselves. And I think definitely there is a space for a third player there. And how this vote, when it was a straight contest between the BJP and the left really lost out. How this vote of the Tripura Motha will fall, how this split will happen. Earlier you were asking me about, different situations. Even in Meghalaya, you have 4 big players for the first time.
Yeah.
The margins are small. Remember, we are talking about small electorates here. We are talking in lakhs. We are talking about Tripura, which is about 28, 13, 21. We are talking about very small electorates here. So these, as it is, the numbers and margins are very small. Now what we will be seeing is a struggle for every vote, every seat, literally. And that is where it's going to be interesting. But at the same time, I think that the BJP's performance will have to be watched. They are now playing on their own turf. They are batting on their own terms in most of these states. They used allies to piggyback. They have been successful in some places. And now they feel they're confident enough. In most places, Nagaland, of course, they are in alliance. They are confident to go, and so we will have to wait and watch how they perform.
Sanjay Hazarika, author and Northeast expert, is also
lots
with us.
of health warnings for exit polls.
Always, Mr. Barua, always. But still, this is a ritual for all of us to present ourselves and offer a discussion on the basis of this poll that we will then criticize, but then continue to discuss.
Absolutely, and while appearing to be intelligent enough to make
while appearing to be very, very intelligent
for other people's analysis.
Exactly. To say that we distance ourselves from this poll, but yet we will discuss. Smita Gupta, now Meghalaya, also one exit poll has come from Matriz. Of the 60 seats, the BJP likely to get, according to them, 6 to 11. The Congress 3 to 6. And the NPP 21 to 26, and others, surprisingly, in Meghalaya will get about 18. Now, who are these others? I don't know, in Meghalaya. This is quite surprising, because the others in Meghalaya, according to this poll, is getting more than the NPP. Whereas the BJP is getting somewhere between 6 to 11.
TMC is there, but
TMC could be the other player. So am I to assume that this poll says that there will be a TMC government in Meghalaya? I don't know.
But
that's why these health warnings.
Yeah, I wanted actually to make a comment on the Tripura Motha.
Yeah.
Pradyut Dev Burman was earlier a congressman. He was the state president, and he was a really hard-working young person. And it's a story of the Congress everywhere. That there is somebody who's saying something which perhaps the leadership doesn't agree in terms of the line, political line. And look at him, I mean, all by himself he's got...
So they would much rather deplete their political fortunes than listen to local leadership.
Yeah.
Which if this is an indicator, could be the case in Tripura as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this, Monideepa. The tribal vote in Tripura, is there anything specific about which way they vote? Where do they go?
Well, in the elections of 2021 at the Tripura tribal area, which is the Autonomous District Council, if that's anything to go by, we saw Tripura Motha get a stupendous 18 out of 28 seats. So we know which way they are inclined to go. Tripura Motha, which is demanding a greater Tripura land, which includes bits of, wherever Tripura people stay, which includes areas of Assam and even Bangladesh. So that is definitely one way that we see that en masse, the Tripura tribal population seems to be voting. And this time round, the Motha is not just contesting seats in the ADC, they are also contesting outside, so 42 seats. So who knows how the, Tripura tribals will vote and how even the non-tribals will vote. But at the moment, I would say, though the figures and even your exit poll figures seem to suggest that the Motha will do very well on the strength of the tribal votes, whichever way it ultimately decides to support whichever other formation. But definitely tribal votes go in the Motha way at the moment from all
Professor Kumar, would you like to weigh in? How do you look at, don't comment on these numbers because they're still very slow, but then what are those key markers come the 2nd of March that one should watch out for?
I think if we are discussing Tripura, so I did spend some time in Tripura. I'm not commenting on the numbers, but whatever number has come from one poll more or less goes broadly along the lines what I saw in Tripura, except for
BJP government.
Yes.
Okay.
Except for the discussion which was going on the tribal vote, I spent some time looking at the tribal vote because that's going to play an important role in Tripura election. I did not get a sense that they are going to vote en bloc for Tripura Motha. I saw a vertical split in the votes of the tribal, and if these numbers, if we have to believe these numbers from Tripura, I think that is the indication which we are getting.
That there is a slip in, that there is a split in the tribal votes. That's what you're saying.
Split in the tribal vote. See, basically, there are two kinds of contest. In the urban or semi-urban locations, kasbas, the contest is between BJP and left and the Congress. I should say there is no contest at all. That is what I saw. Like I traveled to 100 kilometers, not even one. I came across only two party offices of, the non-BJP parties, say the left and the Congress, and hundreds of party offices, lots of workers of BJP. So I got a sense, urban location, semi-urban location, while technically it is a contest between BJP and Congress left, but it is practically no contest for BJP. In the rural location, especially the tribal location, yes, Tripura Motha stood very strong, looked like very strong, but we also came across people who were openly saying they have voted for BJP because they kept referring to the road and the food grains, free food grains. So these were the two things which people kept mentioning.
You think?
So I got a sense that it is a split vote of the tribals for Tripura Motha and BJP.
Manas Deka, I want to ask you this question. Is this now increasingly become the strategy of the BJP? That, traditional voters / vote banks, you will go and create a vertical split. So when you talk about Uttar Pradesh, it will be a dangerous assumption to say that the SC/ST vote is going to go to Mayawati.
Okay.
And similarly, in this case, a dangerous assumption that the tribal votes will go for an organization like Tripura Motha.
Okay. Thank you so much, NDTV, for inviting me and giving a warm welcome. I'll go by this way. If we see the tribal votes of the northeastern states, basically the development of the Honorable Prime Minister in the last 9 years, they are going with the NDA and the BJP. Why we see, if we see, there was a lot of infrastructure problem earlier, but in last 9 years, the development of infrastructure has gone far, far away. First thing. The second thing about the cultural, Honorable Prime Minister is the brand ambassador of the Northeastern, all the tribal people. He wears all the tribal attires very proudly in various public meetings, in various political meetings. So the people of the Northeast, basically those who are tribals, they are slowly looking at the infrastructure development, the cultural integrity, whatever was lacking in last 9 years, they have seen the growth from the...
You see, Mr. Manas Dekha, in the run-up to these Northeast elections, Rahul Gandhi also wore traditional outfit. Mamata Banerjee also wore.
But they are not able to connect, but the Prime Minister is able to connect. That's the difference.
Why?
That people knows. The people
of have a tribal party in alliance with the BJP.
Yeah.
A smaller.
Sanjay Hazarika, your views?
Yeah. Hi.
One by one, what would you like to say? Those key things that you think will matter in these elections, the results particularly.
Well, I think that there are several issues here, and the Northeast is a complex place, and it doesn't get simplified by oversimplification. I think people in smaller states in the region vote for candidates, not just for parties. That's one. The second is that I think that in states, the two states you mentioned, Tripura and Meghalaya, I live most of the time now in Shillong, so in Assam. I think there's going to be the same old story as far as Meghalaya is concerned, which is that no party will get an absolute majority. This has been the tradition of Meghalaya. But the BJP, even if it wins 6 to 8 seats, it's up a huge, that's up a huge number from its earlier tally. But if Conrad Sangma's NPP is able to hold its own, at least get close to a majority on its own, that will be quite significant. But I expect that post-elections, as one of your panelists was saying, I think it was Amit, post-election is when the real colors come out and people seek to bargain or seek positions or strike deals. There have been campaigns in Nagaland and Meghalaya on the issue of clean elections. But I don't know how much that is really cutting much ice. But as Monadeepa said, there are a large number of big players and they're going to cut into each other's votes. And I think the interesting thing in Tripura is the Maharaj, the former Maharaj may not quite be the kingmaker, but he is coming close to that. Because I expect him to do pretty well in the Tripura Autonomous District Council area, which is a stronghold, but not so well outside, although he's fielded candidates. And I think the BJP has certainly a significant advantage in Tripura. Okay,
there are a few more updates that have come in, and we would also like to introduce Agatha Sangma. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me quickly give you an update also from what we are getting in Meghalaya. This is an exit poll company called Matriz, which says that the TMC, last time we did not have the breakup, now we do. The TMC could make a gain on 8 to 13 seats, the BJP on 6 to 11, the Congress on 3 to 6, and the NPP on 21 to 26 seats in Meghalaya. Others about 10 to 15. So this gives you a clear picture or an idea of what's going to happen in Meghalaya. And as Sanjay Hazarika was saying, that this is not an absolute majority, but you know which way the wind is blowing. Agatha Sangma, your thoughts, your observations?
Well, we just casted our vote today, and like our Honorable Chief Minister has already stated, we are extremely confident. And Sanket, your exit poll is giving us about 26, but we are quite sure that we would cross that number and we would be able to form the government on our own. That is, with the blessing of the people of our state and with Almighty's blessings. And we are quite confident that that is what's going to happen. So,
and if that does not happen,
really
you see, this time around, you are not in an alliance with the BJP. So do you think that this will be the coming of age of the NPP?
No, sir. In fact, last time also, when we fought our elections, we did not have a pre-poll alliance with any political party. All the alliances were formed only post the results. And, if a situation arises where something like that needs to happen, then that would be decided post the results. And I'm sure, we can wait for 2 days to determine that.
No, but then, who would you want to consider as your natural ally? You see, NDTV has been.
I'm not in the position to. I'm not in a position to really say that. But yes, we have like-minded parties and allies. I'm sure we would be able to. Let
me ask you this question. See, you've been a part of a central government, Agatha, and
yes.
The TMC was also part of that government. The TMC, according to one exit poll, could get about 8 to 13, and that's all you need to cross the majority mark. Could this be an option that you may want to consider?
Well, I think you better ask the people who are contesting this election. I am today not in a place, it's not my personal election, though I have campaigned as if it were my personal election. But, our Honorable Chief Minister, our party of our President, he would be able to, give you a much more solid answer on that. But
you hope that you will sail through on your own, that you will not require an alliance partner.
That is what we are hoping for, and we are quite confident that that is what's going to happen.
Okay, all the best for the 2nd of March. Thank you very much, Ms. Agatha Sangma, for joining us.
Thank you so
very
much.
Result for I keep saying a result. This is such a result day syndrome. Exit poll for Nagaland is also out by this company called Matriz, which gives the BJP plus NDTV 35 to 43 seats, which means that they have already formed the government. And that was, Nilanjan, pretty much on expected lines.
That's pretty expected, yeah. I think so far, exit polls are not the results, but if you were to guess, I think the numbers that we're seeing are sort of what we were kind of guessing would happen. The only thing that is perhaps somewhat more surprising or interesting at least is what we've seen in Meghalaya, where where we often think of a Khichdi kind of hung parliament kind of situation, kingmaker, where one party may get past single party mark by itself or get very close, therefore has a lot of bargaining power in that system. That is a little bit of a change from the past.
Do we have Matthew Anthony, spokesperson of the Congress party? Hi, Mr. Matthew, how are you?
Sanket, thank you for the long wait, maybe because of the numbers which you're seeing here.
My apologies, but let me ask you this. So in Meghalaya, 3 to 6 for the Congress party, according to one exit poll. In Nagaland, 1 to 3 for the Congress party. And in Tripura, 0 for the Congress. Your alliance may get around 6 to 11, but you personally, the Congress party, is 0.
On the numbers, I think this is an exit poll, this is a prediction, so I would stay away from commenting on that one till the original results come. I was in Meghalaya in charge of the media and communications campaign for 48 days, traveling across the state. And Northeast is unique in its perspective because every state has got its unique culture, ethnicity, the tribal traditions and all of the things like that. No national party can claim an absolute control over these ethnic cultures there. So the regional parties will have a definite say, and I don't see a clear-cut mandate coming in, at least Meghalaya, for any particular party for that matter. We are going to see a hung assembly there, and there will be post-poll alliances which is going to shape up, and we expect much more numbers than what you have predicted for Meghalaya in the exit poll. Tripura also, we have given a good fight, and the development story which is being told by the BJP, this is from my personal experience. I was in Meghalaya. In the Shillong airport, you only have an 8-hour flights coming in and landing. There is no direct connectivity from Shillong to any of the major cities apart from Kolkata and the northeast cities. The roads in Meghalaya is very bad. You go to Garo area, the Khasi Jaintia, apart from the major Shillong city and other areas, you see the roads are really bad. What is the infrastructure which we are speaking about? We forget about, there is a tendency in all of us to speak that, that India came into existence, or Northeast development came into existence only after 2014. You see, post 2040. You see all the institutions which is there in the Northeast. The Northeast development, the NEC, the NDC, the IIMs, the IITs, everything, it's just been from the Congress government. Yes, we agree.
No, but then, Matthew, you see, the
yes.
point is, what you say or what you believe in may or may not be true. But what does the voter believe in? What is the perception that is out there?
The perception is, Sanket, there is a lot of muscle and money which is in play right now, which we have not seen in the elections before. There is an abuse of power, there is misuse of power, there is so much of money which is flowing in. My question to all of you here is that, where is the source of this money? How can so much of money be coming out into the market?
Matthew, am I to assume that you have already started talking about money, muscle power? Am I to assume that you are counting yourself out in some cases?
No, not at all. I was telling about, I was referring to one of the panelists' comment on Tripura, where, he said that there is no other opposition party and the campaigns are there. We were there. We were very much in the ground.
Okay, quick right to reply to Mr. Manas Deka, and then we'll take a short break. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Congress says this is all smokescreen. There is no real development to show for, but you have so much money and muscle power that you sail through.
Okay. So if we see post before 2014, and if we see 2014 to till now, Northeast has the major problem of the connectivity and the infrastructure, which Honorable Prime Minister always says it. He says that highways, Hira, it's a Hira, highways, then internet, the railways, the airways. All this infrastructure and the connectivity has gone to such a wonderfully, because of that, investments are coming up. People are happy, people are living there. Lot of people have come back to our state by looking at the infrastructure development, what had happened. Medical infrastructure has gone up, education infrastructure has gone up, investment infrastructure has gone up, MSME infrastructure has gone up, every sector and unit has grown up. So, I don't, agree what our friend, Mr. Opposition friend is saying, that there is no development. If no development, then why they are not able to connect with the people? Why then BJP and our partners are able to connect?
Money and muscle power.
It's their purview. It's their purview and their view. We have not seen anywhere, and people don't have seen anywhere. It is their purview and their language.
Okay,
yes.
We'll take this discussion forward. Let's quickly stop for a short break at this moment as we are waiting for some more exit polls to be able to get a picture or to present to you a poll of polls. There have to be more than one. Right now, we just have one each for each of these states. Short break. Be right back. Welcome back. Some more polls have now come. So let's get you the latest. We have 2 for Meghalaya, 2 for Tripura and 1 for Nagaland. So the latest that has come for Tripura is on your screen right now. So we got you Access My India that gave the BJP a clear majority, 36 to 45. 0 for the Congress, but their alliance gets 6 to 11 and Tripura Motor 9 to 16. Now the latest poll for Tripura has 29 to 36. Again, they're showing the BJP as a victor, but the margins have reduced. And the gains, it seems, are going to be made by the Congress and the Left Alliance, whereas Tripura Mota is going to be in the same zone of 11 to 16. So this is interesting. Will this be a clear BJP lead or a lead by a slender margin? Because Tripura is a very keenly watched contest. 31 is the majority mark that is required. Soon we'll have another exit poll also for Meghalaya to see how that is going to happen. But Smita, just a short while ago when we were discussing, we were talking about the Congress's allegation against the BJP that, money power, muscle power. Apart from that, let's assume if that happens, apart from money and muscle power, what is working for the BJP? Because now 3 different states, and this shows at least in 2 places that the BJP is going to form its government.
Well, the RSS, we forget, has been working in the Northeast from 10 years before independence. And it's gone about its job very, very methodically.
Very interesting.
First in Assam and the smaller states close to it, and later, many, many years later in Tripura. In the initial years in Tripura, they used to clash with the CPM's volunteers, just as the way you see in Kerala. And they were at the receiving end. But around when Vajpayee came to power, all the RSS organizations got a boost. And that is when the RSS began to sort of grow roots in a more sharper way. So they have worked among the Bengalis in Tripura, for instance. And what is interesting is in the Christian states, they knew that this RSS's usual message is not going to work. So, for instance, they don't talk about beef. They decided to put beef on the back burner there,
which is amazing, Mr.
Then
Manish Dekar.
In Nagaland, they pulled out Rani Gaidinliu, who was a Naga.
No, you look at the comment, for instance. Let me see if I can
they
pull
have
out
different
that
ways of, approaching the population.
Manish Dekar, your leaders for instance, the Meghalaya BJP chief, he says, and I quote, "I eat beef, no one can stop it." Unquote. So rules applicable
in the Hindi
heartland for the BJP are very carefully relaxed when it comes to the Northeast.
It's not exactly relaxed. See, India is a vast country, and we have beliefs, various beliefs. So BJP actually only walks the development part. Let us understand the very basic things, how we win the elections.
No, but then see, the cow has to be holy.
I'll tell you. See, I'll tell you how BJP win the election. That's very important here. Some opposition parties are saying it's very easy to explain money and muscles. But if we see the BJP is a very, very disciplined cadre party. If we see, for example, if we go to any election booth committee, for example, so suppose if there is 100 families, our party has connect with each and every families of the there, and also we have Panna Pramukh, which we always say Panna Pramukh. So we have a very strong baseline where we connect to the people directly with the welfare schemes by the central government, and this helps the people. It may be if you say the health, for example, Atal Amrit Health Yojana. So every yojana we have or welfare schemes we have, and through that we connect. And because of that, people, when they have any issues, for example, LPG, for example.
How come it's not working for you in Meghalaya then?
No, we have started. That's why,
No, the exit poll says 6. Okay, 2 exit polls now. Meghalaya exit poll for Access My India is also out, where the BJP is likely to get 4 to 8, Congress 6 to 12, the NPP 18 to 24, and others 4 to 8. So clearly there's a pattern. In Meghalaya, one does not see this, all the logic that you are giving me for the BJP's grand success.
See, I'll tell you, we were very new in that government only. The NPP was running the whole government. So, but since we have only started there, and through that we have done lot of development, and because of that, things are moving out and things are going faster.
You should have won.
No, yes, obviously it will come, definitely.
Okay, Sanjay Hazarika wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Hazarika.
Yeah, I wonder if people on this panel remember that Meghalaya is the only state of the country where a chief minister was decided by the toss of a coin.
Yes.
About 40 odd years ago, 45 years ago. And, it's been respectable. It was the first state to demonstrate that coalition politics could work. So there's something to be learned there, and it's nothing to be disrespectful of. That's one. The second thing, I think the BJP has been quite strategic, both in Meghalaya and in the other states. In Meghalaya, not just the non-tribals, but also the Sengkasi, the indigenous community, indigenous Khasi faith, is the group that they also appeal to and worked with. So I think that's had a considerable bearing on that will have a considerable bearing on the outcome, and seems to have a bearing on what you see in the exit polls. But as far as the others are concerned, there's a party called the UDP. It's a homegrown party, like the NPP, and it is likely to win at least. It had 4 seats last time, and it may get that or maybe more. And, Meghalaya, it's always not just a game of dice, it's those who choose well and work well together will form the government. And it may well be the BJP plus the NPP. There are no permanent enemies in politics, as we know, and the BJP was part of this government.
Yeah, they were, but you see, the NPP seems to be keeping it open-ended. We spoke to Agatha Sangma. She kept it open-ended.
Well, Agatha is the sister of the chief minister, so the honorable chief minister she keeps talking about is her brother.
Yes, we are aware, sir.
It's all in the family.
Yeah, so which way will they go? Will they continue to be with the BJP? In that case, it will be a
I think Mr. Deka should be able to tell us better than I can. He is a political animal, unlike me.
Who?
But I think that any coalition that gives stability, because if the BJP gets 6 to 8 seats, that's 3 to 4 times what it had the last time. That's a substantial increase.
Yeah.
We can't ignore that.
Two polls now each for Tripura and Meghalaya. The latest is by ETG Research, which gives the BJP 3 to 6, Congress 2 to 5, NPP 18 to 26, TMC 8 to 14, which is a very significant rise for the TMC. 8 to 14 if that happens. Actually, 2 polls they put the TMC in that 8 to 14 bracket, and others about 12. So this is very, very significant.
But look at the TMC versus Congress split, right? I mean, remember that Congress sort of split away with Mukul Sangma towards TMC.
I'm being told in just a short moment we'll be joined in by the Chief Minister. Okay, we have the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad Sangma. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Sangma. 2 exit polls. They say that you are going to fall just short, about 5 odd seats short of a simple majority. How do you look at these polls?
Well, we have been maintaining from day one that we expect to get higher seats than last time, and we hope to move closer to the halfway mark. And the exit polls seem to be suggesting the similar trend. And of course, we hope that the numbers are better than the exit polls. But then Meghalaya has never seen a single party government since 1972, that was in the 50 years back. And from that time, it's always been a fractured mandate. So it's very difficult for a political party to get full numbers. So let us see the real numbers when they come out, and then we will decide on how to move forward.
Mr. Sangma, as you say that the Meghalaya has never delivered a simple majority in over 5 decades. So I would like to ask you, considering that this trend continues, in that case, would you go looking for a new alliance partner, because obviously you will need one, or the one with whom you are already in an alliance with?
So as I said, that we will see the situation as it unfolds on the 2nd, and therefore, we are keeping all our options open, and then we'll decide on how to move forward.
Now, when you say, Mr. Sangma, all options open, does that mean that the option of going with the BJP or with the TMC or with certain other smaller players, all those options are open, including TMC?
You see, we have always believed in one thing, that whenever we take any decision, whether it's as a party or whether it's as a government, for us the main factor is the interest of the people and what is in the best interest of the people of the state. And therefore, we will decide that based on what is in the best interest of the state.
Mr. Sangma, why didn't you go into a pre-poll alliance with the BJP? After all, you were in a government with them. Now, many would see this as perhaps lack of confidence in an alliance partner.
So, I just want to make this clear once again, that after I had taken over as the president of the National People's Party in 2016, after my late father, late P.S. Sangma, had passed away, I was very clear to the party leaders that as a political party, when we go to elections, we must not have pre-poll, because we are diluting our ideology if we do that. When we go to elections, we should fight based on our ideologies. And if you look at the elections since 2016 till now, all the elections, be it Assam, be it Manipur, be it Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal, Lok Sabha, we have always contested on our own without any pre-poll. So this election is no different. It is based on the principle that we must go to the people with our ideologies.
And at the same time, if you fall short of numbers, then go looking for an alliance partner. Whoever gets you the best. I won't use the word deal.
See, we have to always realize, so what is important to realize, that election is different from government formation. Now, in an election, if the people of the state give us a fractured mandate, then it is left to the political parties then to find out what will be the best possible way to give a stable government to the people of the state. So we have limited options once the mandate of the people comes in. But if the people give a mandate to us with full majority, then obviously the situation is different. So therefore, election fighting is one part, but if the mandate is fractured, then obviously we don't have a choice but to talk to people and other parties to find a way to give a stable government.
Mr. Sangma, you see, the BJP has often been accused by many people in the opposition, particularly in Meghalaya, of being anti-Christian. There were in the run-up to Meghalaya poll, several poll issues related to corruption, scams and law and order. Reopening of coal mining has been a major poll promise of all parties in these elections. I want to know from you how much of this has had or did play on your mind when you decided to walk it alone or go alone?
So, as I said, when we fight the elections, we are fighting on our ideology. So, obviously, when we go to the people, we stick to certain principles and certain.
Would you like to specify what that ideology is?
Objectives.
Because in the national context, Mr. Sangma, the BJP very clearly has its own ideology. We know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, we have been always very clear that the National People's Party is working towards providing a platform for the Northeast. We have been very clear that the people of the Northeast have certain concerns and there are certain issues that are common to the states of the Northeast. We have felt that the Northeast normally gets divided among themselves and we are not able to produce the numbers at the national level to be able to give a strong voice. I mean, a basic political point. And hence, we have always worked with that ideology that we would like to be that platform. And while we have our own concerns as a state or as different communities or tribes, there are certain things that are common to all of us. And hence, if there is a political party that can then give the voice to the Northeast, then we will be able to address those issues at the national level. So that's what we have been trying to work towards. And obviously, the fact that, the ideologies of different political parties differ. That's the reason why we are different political parties. And we may not agree on many things. But then that's how life is, and that's how relationships are, and that's how coalition is also.
Mr. Sangma is a tough nut to crack today.
But then in certain situations, we do have to work out.
No, not telling
so we do have to work out a way to how to move forward. So that's how it is.
You're being a tough nut to crack today, Mr. Sangma, not telling us what your next move is going to be. Hopefully, on the 2nd of March, when we meet you, when we speak to you, we should have a clearer idea of which way the wind is blowing. Thank you very much, Mr. Sangma, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Amit Barua, as well as Professor Sanjay Kumar, one by one. Yes, Mr. Hazarika, I'll just come to you. Amit Barua, let's first talk about Meghalaya only because we just had the Chief Minister. You think it makes sense for the Meghalaya Chief Minister to again align with the BJP? I mean, it will secure him from one, ED, CBI. It will secure him from 2, Operation Kamal, 3, certain other things.
Oh, definitely.
Plus alignment with the centre.
I think it's, it's much safer for any regional party in the Northeast to go with the BJP because it provides a certain bulwark against, defections, purchase, so on and so forth. But I think what was interesting in what Mr. Sangma was telling you, Sanket, was he said fighting elections is one thing and government formation is another.
Exactly. I found that really funny.
That I was trying to make to you earlier in the program, that the fact of the matter is that in states, in all these 3 states have 60-member assemblies. These are small states. Numbers can be very fluid. They can be very difficult to manage. Meghalaya, in a sense, is a good example. If the TMC does, make a good showing, I mean, in Tripura, the promise of the TMC has not proved to be what it was. But in Meghalaya, they have a big leader who came out of the Congress. So the point I'm making is that today, the people in the Northeast, my sense is, and it's a broad brush thing when you say Northeast, they are looking for the same things that everyone is looking for in the rest of the country. They are looking for development, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for education, they're looking for good healthcare. And no political party is doing the people of the Northeast a favor by providing these services to them. These are things which are expected. This is something which is at the basis of governance. And I think that today the time has come that this yearning for change, whatever, whether it's the BJP or the Congress, I think people find like in other parts of the country, that the Congress has not been able to deliver the goods. The promise and performance, there's a huge gap. Equally today, BJP has been in power at the center for 10 long years. The fact of the matter is that they have to also govern, they have to also give results, and the fact of the matter is they have the resources, they are far cleverer in fighting elections, and the determination to win, and with due respect to our Congress friend here, the determination to win in the BJP is much stronger than that of the Congress, whether it's in the Northeast or in other parts of the country.
Matthew.
Yes.
Matthew, lessons for the Congress party to learn. But before you answer, Professor Sanjay Kumar, I wanted to get him in and then Sanjay Hazarika also. So we have a poll of polls now because there are 2 from Meghalaya, I believe 3 from Nagaland and 3 from Tripura. And Professor Kumar, in Meghalaya, the picture is now clear with the NPP in these exit polls at 23, the BJP at 7. So if they come together, that's a comfortable halfway mark. Then you've got the Congress at 4 and TMC at 11. So TMC is emerging as a good player, a good kingmaker, I would say, in the state of Meghalaya. In Nagaland, BJP, NDTV at 42, so not much to discuss there. And in Tripura, the BJP is at 31, Tripura Mota at 13, and the Left Congress combined at 15. Your thoughts, Professor Kumar?
Sanket, if you look at all the 3 polls in all the 3 states, I think the trend is very, very clear. If we look at Tripura, all the polls indicate that BJP is the single largest party, while there is some difference of opinion if we look at the 3 different polls, because one indicates BJP heading for a very big victory, and the one poll which indicates a very marginal victory or just BJP on the margin. But I think it is very clear that BJP is emerging as the single largest party in Tripura. If we look at Nagaland, I think we don't need to discuss that in terms of estimates from the exit poll, because all the exit polls are indicating in one direction that BJP NDTV alliance is heading for a big victory. The only question is about
in fact, they are increasing their tally. If this continues, yes, that's an uptick of 12.
Yes. About Meghalaya also, I think the trend is very clear. All the polls indicate that Meghalaya is heading for a hung assembly, and all the polls indicate that Trinamool Congress is going to perform well. So I think all these 3 polls in the 3 states are pointing in one direction, Let's wait for March 2nd to figure out which poll came closer, or if we come to a situation where all the polls go wrong. My own sense is that all these three polls would be fairly close to what we would see on the 2nd of March.
Interesting. Sanjay Hazarika wanted to come in.
Yeah, I think, Sanket, one of the things that comes clear from this, that apart from Tripura, including Tripura, is that regionalism combined to a national cause, shall we say, is alive and well in the Northeast. You know, I think that tells you very clearly in Meghalaya, it's the regional parties which will form a majority from this. In Tripura, the Tripura Mota has a critical role in the future, if not immediately. And in Nagaland, it is the BJP combined with the NDTV, which is a spin-off of the MPF, which is supposed to get very few seats. So that is a very interesting development. You know, apart from all the other things that you've said, the regionalism is there. Now, the other thing I wanted to flag to all of you was that coal mining, corruption, and the border issue with Assam were critical, and the inner line permit. These are critical in Meghalaya.
True.
Because I once anchored a program of several political parties in an open field, and this came up repeatedly.
Yeah.
And what I was very encouraged was that all the parties said they were committed to good relations with non-tribals and peace and amity, because that has been an issue in the state and in other parts.
Right. All right, I've completely run out of time, but Munideepa Banerjee, do you feel that
Sanket, I need a minute.
A Bharat Jodo Yatra in the Northeast is the need of the hour for the Congress party?
Isn't it so? I mean, I think we already have the Congress leaders talking about.
Yeah, they're talking about it, but you know, by then 4 assembly elections. One is Manipur, happened last year, and now 3 more. So 4 are already gone. Maybe let's see what happens in 2024. Thank you very much for joining us. We've run out of time. Do watch all the latest on ndtv.com also. News and updates continues on the other side. Stay with us.